Okay, I think I just need to sit properly. Is the lighting still fine? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I really just want to say thank you to every single person that has been supporting the video, liking and subscribing. And I don't know if the mandate is to get like what do we say, road to 50k? I don't know, but thank you. So I think people generally, especially when you are in the entertainment industry, wonder, oh my goodness, how did you get in there, whatnot. And today I decided to share my story in terms of how I got into radio. Was this always the plan? I don't know. So I'm gonna start you off with the kind of child I was. Before recording this video, I was thinking, what kind of kid was I? Like, have I always been interested in entertainment? And thinking back, I've always known that I had a personality, right? When I was in grade 2, my teacher used to call me Madam Fifi. When I was in grade 3, my teacher used to call me a drama queen. And that was the first time I was aware that, okay, I might be a little bit out there. I don't think it came as a surprise to my mom, particularly when I ended up in radio. So how I got into radio was the other day, I went to UP, right? And beginning of the year, we have the registration process where as students, we kind of volunteer or apply to work. Because of the intake and everything and how hectic things are, they kind of need student assistance. And this was second year. I was sitting in this room. I was helping with making student cards. And there was this girl that I was sitting next to. Her name is Gugu. And I was just being my chatty self. It was a Saturday morning. I was being my chatty self. And she turned and she looked at me and she was like, you have a voice for radio. I was like, what? She's like, yeah. Then our manager was like, yeah, they're next born. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's just, see where this is going to go. And I said to her, do you think the applications are open to apply to XFM? And then she was like, let's go check. We went up the stairs. And to my surprise, it was February, I think. The applications were open. So I just took a form and I was like, well, there goes nothing. And I think 2 weeks later, I got a call and they were like, you're more than welcome to come and audition. And I was like, oh my God. I was literally losing my mind, right? And then I went in for the interview and they asked me questions about like what I read, whatever. Mind you, I had no prior presenting experience to that. So just had like a conversation with a panel of people. It was quite intimidating and I did not know if I had done well or not. And 2 or 3 days after, I got a call to be like, you've been accepted. So then I was nervous, I was excited. We met the rest of the people that had been taken in. Actually quite interesting. At the time, it was Lenanza, she's a DJ. It was Dimpo Mukoto, she's currently on YFM. And we were just coming in together, not necessarily knowing what was going to happen. And we went through the training. So when we went through the training, we had this like mock show that we had to present. You had to write on a piece of paper and kind of imitate your favorite personality. Then I just did that. So the basics of radio, like back announcing, getting a topic and like getting out of a topic and making sure that you are able to get back into the topic after the music has played. It was awful. Like my first audition was terrible. I forgot the station name. I was so nervous. I actually was literally nervous because it was public speaking. I was with my peers and I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot the station name. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. And my nerves just got the best of me. So then this was around March, around April, I was supposed to do my first shows. Okay. And I was like to my then program manager, I said, yo, dude, I don't think I can do this. But thank you for the opportunity though. Then he was like, just give it, like, just do 3 shows and then see how you feel. And if you still feel like this is not for you, then bye. I was like, okay, cool. I won't walk away without trying. Then I remember my first show was in 2016, and it was a 2 to 4 slot. And Lefa is the guy that had been working there for a while, and he helped me with running desk, because soon when I do a vlog where you come to work with me, you'll see how complicated the behind the scenes of radio are, especially when you have to control the desk and whatnot. And mind you, the desk that I'm running currently is a lot more complicated than the one I started with. So cool. Then I did my first show. It was about what the shoes you wear say about you, I think. And I had everything that's written down in my journal. It was cute. 3 shows in, then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stick this out and I'm gonna do these shows. And this was April. May, June, around recess, a lot of the main presenters at the time have gone, so they needed us to fill in, and that's when I did my first daytime show. So I think it was lunch or 9 to 12, I don't remember. And it was so cool because Naledi and I were sort of like the weakest links, right? We were like, these ones are gonna leave. And we got to do our first daytime show, which was pretty exciting. We got to learn so much. I think when you are presenting a daytime show and a nighttime show, you kind of have to learn what it is people are doing at the time. Are you appealing to your audience at that time and the activities that they're engaged in? So that was pretty dope. Fast forward to, so I started radio in 2016. 2017, 2018. Fast forward to 2018, I was doing my final year, and I don't know, we just had like a change in management, like so many changes that happened. And our management was so cool, by the way. Like, it was absolutely amazing, because as Tax FM as a whole, it was going through a transition period where they were moving from being an alternative rock station to being sort of like a radio station that is encompassing and representative of the demographics that were on campus at the time. So historically, you know, UP was a white institution, and we had to kind of move with the times, even with radio. So that transition happened in our intake, and it was not easy. It was so not easy. Just presenting new personalities, presenting the new sound of the station. And I was lucky enough to be a unit leader at the time. So unit leader, you're like in between management and volunteers, right? So you just like, whenever we have meetings and we have to have conversations about what's going on air, then you're like, you basically represent the volunteers and you speak for them. So I was lucky enough to have that responsibility. And at the time, I remember I was hosting the breakfast show as well. And I was like, yeah, maybe breakfast is not for me. So I decided to rather do the drive show. And the drive show was doing incredible. 2019, I won an award for best drive time in the campus category, which was absolutely incredible. And I didn't immediately jump to commercial radio. So this was 2019. I had graduated and I got an opportunity to work behind the scenes in radio. So I was like an intern, kind of supporting the programming and the sales management. Boy, oh boy. I'm not going to say much, but what I'm going to tell you is that was the year when I went to Vipassana. And when I went to Vipassana, I was just trying to figure out what on earth I wanted to do with my life. One thing I knew for sure was that I did not want to be behind the scenes of radio. So I think a few months in, 9 months in, I quit. And I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me. I'm ready to leave radio. And dude, when you're passionate about something, you're just passionate about it. So it just becomes difficult to just be like, okay, cool, bye. So this was like 3 years into radio, and things weren't working out for me. But I had an incredible support of friends. And we were like, okay, we need to be determined about going into commercial radio. Come 2020, two of my friends, one moved to Metro, the other moves to OFM, which is in Bloemfontein. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to give this one more shot. And if it doesn't work out, that's perfectly fine. In the same year, I also decided to register for my honors degree in psychology. Cool. So I'm handling psychology. I'm handling a weekend show now because I was like, I can't do the weekday anymore. I'm grand. So handling the weekend shows. And one thing about this journey I can tell you is that you have to be intentional. Like, you need to move from a place where something is a dream into a space where it's a goal. Because when it's a dream, it's like one day. But I had to mentally shift from a place of one day to, okay, this is a goal and I'm gonna put effort into achieving it. And then I made it a point to get the programs managers details. So I had to understand myself as a presenter and which radio station I would fit best in. I mean, like, I definitely cannot go to a Tswana radio station because what the hell am I gonna say, So I needed to be intentional about that. I was like, okay, cool. I could fit into 5, I could fit into 947, I could fit here and there and there. And I was like, okay, programs manager. Next thing is to find out who the programs managers are. And I found out who the programs managers were. I made it an effort to learn how to cut audio, and I was on a mission to send out my demos on a weekly basis. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna rip out the best moments from my shows and just send them. And I did that for about a year. And I was consistent. Well, I wasn't really consistent. There were days where I really questioned if this is what I wanted to do. And I just kept sending them out. Some acknowledged, some were just like, okay, got you, bye. And I was like, you know what, as long as they know that there is this person who works at Tax FM and who has aspirations of being on commercial radio. And of course I was doing the other work, the spiritual work, praying, meditating, manifesting, and all of that. And 2020, end of 2020, I was like, you know what? This is it. If nothing pulls through, then I'm just gonna leave the space. This is like 4 years later, and mind you, when you're working in campus, you don't get paid, So my parents had to support me in terms of transport to get there. And yeah, it was not necessarily an easy journey. So fast forward to 2021 January, I was just mostly focused. So a lot of people around January, they get into like a fasting spiritual time to pray for the year, and that's what I did. I was like, okay, these are the things that I want to achieve. And I also had gotten to a point where I was not too attached to the dream anymore. So I was like, okay, if this does not happen, it's perfectly fine. I gave it my all, 4 years, and one day I was just chilling, minding my own business, and I got a WhatsApp from the station manager at 5. I wanted to die, low-key, because it was absolutely insane. He was like, yo, can we meet on this day at this time? I was like, what? I did not believe it. And then met him. He spoke to me with the programs manager as well, spoke to me about what they wanted to do and how I fit into 5. And I was like, all right, let's go. And I would say the rest is history. I mean, April started my new show, 5 weekend afternoons. It's on a Saturday and a Sunday from 2 until 6 p.m. And it's been a journey. It's been a journey because the first year of me being in radio, particularly commercial radio, I needed to get to a point where I moved from being the person that was... Hold up. That's my mama. So the first year of me being at 5, honestly, was a mental struggle more than anything, because I had to mentally shift from being the person that had pursuing commercial radio to being the person that is in commercial radio. And that mental shift was just so challenging for me. I was struggling with anxiety. I was struggling with imposter syndrome. Like, I had forgotten that I was an award-winning radio presenter. I had 4 years radio experience. All that went out the window, and it just felt like it was the first time ever I had to speak behind the mic. And luckily, I have actually such an amazing management that supports, that helps wherever they can. And a lot of the things was me conquering myself and just believing in myself fully, to know that I'm actually capable of being in these spaces and I am worth being in these spaces. It's just been so beautiful to watch myself grow and see where I'm at, and I'm really looking forward to whatever it is that lies ahead in this journey of being in entertainment. I think that I'm one of the few people that are really blessed enough to do what they actually love. And every single time when I try and go on air, it's really not about me. I think there's certain positions and certain spaces that you occupy where you have to realize that it's above you. Like, it's so much bigger than you, and I don't take that for granted. I think people think, radio and TV and all these things are like glitz and glam, and there's a lot of hard work that goes into creating a show, into learning the ropes of being a good presenter. And I think even when I started in commercial radio, a lot of people were like, oh, you've made it. But for me, it honestly felt like the work had just begun, because here is something that I have, and the responsibility of making sure that you serve the audience at that scale. Like, I moved from broadcasting just in Pretoria to broadcasting to the whole of South Africa. That's wild, so it's a career or a job that challenges you on a personal level, because you're literally sharing who you are with the world. And there's such a huge responsibility that also comes with occupying certain spaces and certain platforms. But honestly, I would not trade it for the world. I'm so grateful with its ups and downs and whatever there is with it. I'm just so grateful. So yeah, that's me, and that's how I got into radio. And listen, if there's anybody that's just like, oh, how do I get into radio? The best place to start is always in community radio, campus radio. Like, make sure you're able to find a radio station within your space or within your area where you can volunteer and work on your craft. Even when you get to where you want to be, just continuously work on your craft. Don't give up on it. Whatever it is, it could be in radio, it could be any other interest that you have. It's really important to continuously work on your craft and to not be afraid to put yourself out there. I mean, I was like, what am I going to say when I go? Actually, in 2020, I got to the SABC at Metro FM, and I didn't know who the station manager was. I had not been at the SABC ever since before then. And it was just me being brave and me going after my dreams that really, I think culminated to this moment. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. So yeah, that's my journey in radio, and you'll probably be more than hearing a lot of this, be seeing a lot more of what I do at work. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, but don't forget to like this video. If you do like this kind of content, then I will know that that's what you like, and I will give you more of it. And if there's any other thing that you want to know about my radio journey, or you want to see me in studio, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the notification button. Don't forget to hit the notification button for whenever I release new videos, so that you are the first one to kind of see what is on the channel.